You are listening to DC On Screen.
By the way, I couldn't conceivably find a way to fit this in within the episode, so I'll just tell you now.
I'm scared.
Let's do it. I want it documented somewhere.
Fair enough. Terrified right now.
Last night,
even more terrified.
My wife and I were driving, and I made some kind of weird noise with my mouth, you know? And Bethany goes, "What are you, choking on a dick over there?" I said, "No, it's a chicken bone." It wasn't a chicken bone. And she was like, "What's the chicken bone doing in that dick?"
Tell her she can have my dad card for the night on that one. I'm allowed to loan it out.
Oh, God. What's that chicken
as an
bone
honorary measure on occasions? I feel like that's warranted.
God. Oh, my God. I'm not sure she wants that dad card.
No.
I think she'll take a Norm Macdonald card, but not a dad card.
It's got his face on it because he looks like a fucking dad if I've ever seen the look of a dad.
Well, he is a dad. So, or was a dad. Yeah. Oh, man. DC on Screen. David C. Robertson here with Jason Goss.
Howdy.
And we're going to get into Batman Caped Crusader on Amazon Prime. Season 1 is done. It's out. It's on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen it, go check it out because we're going to spoil the hell out of it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, Lord.
In what we'll call the traditional format in streaming, because things have changed enough for there to be a traditional format where you drop everything at once.
Yeah. So yeah, they have season 1 out, and we're waiting on season 2. They are making season 2. It's probable that there will be a season 3 because this was very popular all over the internet. Everyone who's seen it has talked about how great this thing is. I'm not sure I'd go that far, but I did enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm in
it's not the second coming.
Yeah, I'm in the same spot. There's some stuff that was a little, I would say a little boring a couple times for me, but I did really enjoy it.
Yeah, I thought it was for the most part a very fresh, fun, interesting take. You know, again, I don't think it's the second coming of BTAS. I just don't. Like I was watching it with my wife and she said, I like it. It's pretty good. I like it quite a bit. And I'm like, then you should love Batman the Animated Series, because to me, they still just haven't gotten back to how damn good that was. Like, Caped Crusader was better than BTAS in its worst episodes, for sure. Because, they're honed. They've got the budget and whatnot. But at its best, I don't think anything touches BTAS.
At its best, I don't know if it can. I think this is easily the closest it's gotten in a long time, though. I understand the lineage, for sure I understand the lineage. Well, both in actual production, of course, but it is as close as it's seemed. I don't know. It's as close as I've felt to the show for a long time.
Yeah. But, at the same time, I recognize that I'm not going to ever get back to that because I grew up with that. And that was the thing that I loved.
Yeah, no, we won't beat the nostalgia part of it.
But I've also always been pretty good about loving a thing and then finding a new version of it and going, oh, this just beats the shit out of that.
Yeah.
So, case in point, I saw the 89 Batman movie and said, I love the shit out of that. And then Batman the Animated Series came out and I went, oh, well, that's so much better.
89 be damned.
But anyway.
It works out for you, though. You have to fill the gap. You have on occasion as a viewer, have the habit of like souring on something over time.
Yeah.
So but I guess that with that being something that you can, that you can do. Some other people don't do that in any capacity whatsoever. It just depends on, how things, digest with people over time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like it's kind of good for you though that you can do that, because then you can enjoy new things and not feel so cheated that, the childhood's being taken away or something.
Yeah. I'll say this. I kind of feel like, for the most part, the first episode in Treacherous Waters should have maybe been much closer to the end, maybe even the last episode. Because, I saw a lot of people complaining about the female penguin. I had not a damn problem with that. That was amazing. Yeah. And just killing her kids, dude. Just like, that's the penguin, dude. Oh, my God. Yeah. And Mini Driver killed it. It's fun because Treacherous Waters feels in some ways, it reminds me of the first, well, or one of the first. I'm not sure if it was the first. It might have just been the one that I saw first. The Fleischer Superman cartoon where the mad scientist is shooting lasers and blowing up parts of Metropolis because the Penguin is exploding shit in Gotham.
Sure.
And Batman's, caught in between all these damn crime bosses. It sets up a certain amount of things, but the problem with In Treacherous Waters for me, though, was they destroy the police station.
Oh, you think that should be a finale kind of situation?
Well, yeah, because in the next episode, the police station is back, and they never address it again.
Well, see, builders moved in.
Have there been that many months?
With that Wayne money.
That's my question, is like, how many months has happened between In Treacherous Waters and Be a Villain?
Not likely enough time to rebuild a police station, but
I mean, I didn't see the building didn't fall, but I mean, the explosion was throughout the building inside should be fucked.
Well, the Reddit version of that's going to be like, well, I didn't see the shoe come off of the building, so the building's still alive.
Yeah, and to like blow up a building like that, and the police headquarters, it kind of feels like I need a little bit more on that.
Yeah,
but not trying to be
that part. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked at all for the Barbara Gordon part of this little, and that's maybe the most serialized part of the whole season in a lot of ways is kind of Barbara in a way doing like some background, like a background subplot that's there the whole time kind of thing. But you could have just started that with a different episode and swapped where that was for sure.
Mm-hmm. And Barbara and Dent,
and kept your building intact if you wanted to.
Well, you said Barbara's the most serialized, but I kind of think Gordon is too. Gordon's pretty damn serialized. The whole Thorne thing is pretty serialized as well as Dent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, Dent would definitely win the overall award. You're right. Well, by the way, the great performances all around, genuinely, like you've already mentioned, but took me a minute. I forgot who was playing what when I actually sat down to watch this, and took a second to recognize Bader.
Yeah, Diedrich Bader playing Harvey Dent.
Yeah. He makes his voice so small. Like I really genuinely think he just grabbed his nose to do the recording for a lot of these. It's so much higher in his head, it feels like, somehow, than what I remember from like Brave and the Bold. And I know he was kind of dropping his tone a little bit, but still, yeah, it clearly had some fun range. But it was a lot of fun to see him do, I don't know, such a fucking angry, violent piece of shit in this one sometimes versus what I've seen out of him in Brave and the Bold. Yeah.
But even though even as he's like really angry as Dent, like I did really enjoy like the twists on the characters in this iteration. Mm-hmm. Like it is like he is a sleazeball until he becomes Two-Face, and then he's like suddenly like, oh nah, bitch, this is when the vigilante's gonna come out.
Yeah,
and I was rooting for him.
I didn't think about it much, but they did. They kind of made it a point that he is a very much a mixture of morality as a normal person, and then these last couple episodes, like his full-faced version of Harvey, he's a little good, a little bad, and then they split him as soon as he gets the acid in the face. He seems to split into those two, and you're right. He does he's much more of a like I don't know, kind, humble, sympathetic kind of person when he's actually just being like good Harvey then, versus clearly going the other way with the piece of shittery.
Yeah. Like he's not like the violent part of him is a total badass vigilante. That's the thing. Like instead of being a criminal, and I enjoyed that.
I did,
or not really a criminal because they're all criminals if they're vigilante, but a bad guy.
It was a good job with him. It's one of my only real qualms with the series is not a real qualm even. It's just that Two-Face is one of the characters I don't care about as much. Mm-hmm. So I kind of, and it seems to be a. Tim and these kind of people preference in some way that they're going to get back to the Two-Face story one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of stories in BTAS that are kind of retold here in basically the same manner. I mean, obviously some ones that are very, very, very much told differently, but Catwoman, I felt like it's basically the same vibe I'm used to from every other animated Batman product. They definitely want a pound, but we're not gonna.
Yeah. What's interesting to me about that is about Catwoman. And I fully understand we've skipped Clayface here, and that was a fine story, but I don't have a lot to say about it. It was I like the old style, like I love the old style design. but you know,
I did.
it's fine.
The most standout part was when I decided to trust the show in the Clayface episode. Was for a second, I was thinking they were going to do that thing where Clayface was like, oh, he just puts on literal different masks rather than, and that was going to bore the ever-loving hell out of me. Like I was going to lose a little piece of myself for a second, but they didn't, and I was very happy.
Yeah, but you know the thing with Tim and whoever he's conspiring with, it usually seems like they like to go after Catwoman. You know, Selena Kyle was the daughter of a multimillionaire, and she's a bit, you know, of a spoiled, thrill-seeking type.
Yeah,
and you know, it's such a contrast to the Frank Miller prostitute Selena.
Yeah, that one's gone down some different roads.
Yeah, it's interesting.
This one, the biggest tweak on this one that was new, because the entitled rich girl stealing stuff part, we've seen that a little bit before. I mean, hell, even in '66, I think that was part of the theme a little bit, wasn't it?
I don't even remember now.
One of those kitties. Yeah, it's been a while for me too, but that was a bit of a different take. There's that, like, she's doing it almost as an addiction that she like is ruining her life in a way.
Yeah.
Like, no, she's not actually just that damn good at it. She just can't stop doing it. Seems like they always play it up as she's almost just so gracefully amazing at it that she can do it anyway with just no consequences. And flip sides as far as her, morality goes.
Yeah.
Put on the black or white hat whenever.
It's fun either way. The dilettante Selena Kyle is fun because she's sort of a mirror of Bruce.
True.
Or she's, you know, rich, but she's kind of a thrill seeker. Nothing bad ever really happened to her. She's just like, she just has like this weird, you know, possibly psychosexual need to dress up like a kitty cat and steal shit. And and it may have been inspired by Batman, knowing there's some big hulking beast of a man running around in tights. Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, just to pull that moment out and go ahead and put a pin in it just for everyone. Yeah, this is a very thirsty universe. We knew that was going to be the case. It's Bruce Timm.
Dude, I was actually shocked that he was so restrained.
I think he was restrained, is my working theory, because I could sense how thirsty it was behind, I think, sometimes a very thin veil of being held back. But I did appreciate that it was pretty well reined in, yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't behind a thin Vicky veil. You know what I mean? It's
the thin veil, was not just the stripper outfit before the beat drops.
Man, I was like, because it was Bruce Timm. So like I said, I think in the last episode, you know, Harley asks Montoya out, and I was like, okay, what we gonna see? But no, they were, you know, they had a couple of curse words, a couple things that they couldn't have done in BTAS. But you know what? Like, it was pretty damn bloodless. It was pretty sexless.
It was.
I was shocked. I kind of like, and that was maybe part of one of my issues with it, because it was like they were doing like more cursing. They were kind of going for more of a gritty, like gangsta feel. But at the same time, they were like restrained in a weird way.
Starting in with a thorn or a penguin, you know.
Yeah,
we know what part of Gotham we're playing in.
I didn't expect it to go like full on Deadpool Wolverine or you know, I don't know, some sleazy noir porn name. I don't know.
No, yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a name offhand for that. But I didn't expect it to go R-rated, but I thought it would probably be pretty heavy PG-13.
Yeah. And
to me, they didn't. I think they may have hit PG, and I was a little shocked that it didn't go further.
I don't know.
Especially since like Tim would get in trouble on BTAS for like implying prostitution and stuff. You know, like there are things that I thought that they would, places I thought they would go now that they had the ability.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was streaming, so it didn't properly get a rating, right?
Right.
So we're just applying this after the fact. I don't know. I guess a very, you just barely made it over the hump PG-13 would make sense to me because of a lot of the themes involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is, they do a fair amount of, there's not displayed violence. It's all a lot of implied or fantasy violence, whatever you want to call the phrasing. But I mean, yeah, you're right. It's not extremely graphic as a show goes. Like, this is not fucking Harley Quinn or even Kite Man.
Yeah, that's a good call. Like, yeah, I would have expected closer to Harley Quinn, which is funny because they will curse up and down.
Maybe
all
Tim
day
got
long.
it out of his system watching that show.
They curse all the time on Harley Quinn, but they won't show nudity. That's weird. They show brains being busted in, but they black out a tit. That's just weird to me.
Or are you caught up on Kite Man?
No. I need to go back and
You do.
finish
It
that
is
up.
delightful. I've got to watch the finale. I kind of have been saving that as a treat.
I've enjoyed the 3 or 4 episodes I've seen.
It is fun, but yeah, they hilariously like, you've never seen. I think half of the season Golden Glider's been nude, but like they've always just got blood like over her or something, or on the occasion where they can't, they will literally blur the animation, which always makes me fucking laugh. Like, you chose this staging. Somebody drew this on purpose. All right. The blurring is always a good joke for me. But yeah, it's very nude and very dirty in a lot of ways. Yeah, maybe he did just get it out of his system, or it wasn't necessary here. It certainly wouldn't have helped the story to just go overboard. I would have had the same problem there with like the killing joke. We didn't add anything to that movie with that.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm not complaining or championing the fact that they didn't go further. I was just shocked that they didn't.
Yeah, it exists in the form it should. Thank you.
I mean, I could have dealt with a little more darkness, a little more violence, a little more, just seediness overall. But I didn't need it to be porn or anything.
There's time, and there are parts of this that are genuinely haunting. I mean, you've already gone over like killed her sons. I mean, when she killed a son, she killed him in front of the other one. Damn. And like, not even like a quick, merciful one. This was a slow, painful death.
Yeah.
Or slow enough.
And I knew, like, man, Flaccid Bullock taking down Firebug.
Yeah, Firebug, pretty rough too. But to bring up Firebug specifically, that's what I was going to go for next, is, man, the scene where he's imagining the families, but then he imagines them in flames as little flame children.
Yeah.
That would frighten my 5-year-old, I think, way more, because it's like just slightly abstract enough for a young enough kid to really kind of get that on a guttural weird level where you perceive and remember things that you don't even know why you remember them that way. That's one of those where like, oh, that could be a core memory. I don't want to. I don't want to unlock that one. Let's not do that. But yeah, that was, oof.
Yeah.
That was a choice.
They set him out intending him to do what he did and then kill him for it. Like, that's messed up.
He never had a chance.
I'm like, oh, good. No redemption for Bullock in this universe.
No,
okay.
None.
Jesus Christ.
No redemption for Bender here.
Man. So one of my favorite switches was Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Great one.
Bubbly, happy as a psychiatrist, and then at night, torturer, brainwasher more specifically.
Yeah, it didn't seem like the violence was the point for her. She wants to.
Well, I mean, I felt like it was psychological violence, but at the same time,
yeah,
she absolutely had people like beating the shit out of each other in there. Like, if I don't know that one guy she has in there in the court jester outfit, she has the dude in the baby diaper like walk in with a giant hammer, and he gets to have his sweets if he beats the fuck out of this dude. And the next time we see that guy, like his face is all mangled up.
Oh
dude.
Yeah, he broke.
It's like Misery over here.
It is. I just wondered, like, with her, I feel like the violence is just incidental is all. That's probably not the part she's really enjoying. It was the control, I felt like, was the major thing.
Yeah. I dug it. I loved that episode.
It was creepy. He really, for the change-ups, as you put it,
yeah.
I really don't think I had much. I mean, I don't think there were any notes on my side, genuinely. Like, I was perfectly happy to see all of these as new takes. We already played. Well, he's playing in a familiar feeling universe. I'm happy to see this thing turned on its head a good bit. In fact, I'm rooting for it. I don't want to just watch it again. We've done that.
Yeah.
And I really liked a lot. I mean, I'm really looking through the names here and not finding a flaw.
Yeah.
I don't think I had like, oh my God, I can't believe they did it to his character. I enjoyed all these takes.
It's unfortunate because, like, we're 39 and 40. And at this point in our lives, we have two ways we can go.
We're 40 and 40 now. You're 40, right?
Oh, I'm 40.
Yeah, we're 40.
You're 40?
Yeah.
I thought you were a year younger than me.
No, not anymore. I'm apparently less than a year younger than you.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. But I'm about to
I'll
turn
take
31.
the year back, but it won't actually help my physical health, so I don't really care.
Right. I'm about to turn 41, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
I forgot what time of the year it is.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
the thing
time.
about it is, like, at our age, and you see this all the time on social media when you talk to people about these things, you see this. People get mad and say, well, they're not doing it like it's supposed to be done. And for me, I'm like, I want to see it done the way I've never seen it done, because I know these stories.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a dick about it, but I'm tired of these stories. I want to see something new. So when we get something like this, whether or not we love it 100% or not, like, I am always like really happy to see the weird new versions of these characters. Like, I think there's like a switch to some degree. Like I was complaining about, Joker last week, where I'm like, oh my God, just don't call him the character. There's a point where, like, it's so unrecognizable that it's like, there's no point. But if you get to a similar place and the character is still somewhat recognizable, but it's a new take, that's fun. You know what I mean? Like, I recognize that I could be perceived as being a hypocrite for what I'm saying right now. Like, based on last week, where I was just like, don't do the character if you're not going to do the character. Well, the point is, they were like, with what Todd Phillips is doing in a lot of cases, or in several different people are doing a thing where they're like, hey, we needed a prosecutor, we'll just call him Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else there except for the fact that he's a lawyer and his name is Harvey Dent. Like, there's nothing of Harvey Dent there.
I think where I left it was kind of this middle ground where, like, that's fine with me. Like, what are you going to not name him that? I'm good with just the placekeeper name. But this one's, a lot of these are just, it's not even whole cloth take. It's just, they did a good job of either, like, doing, well, I'd say that. The only exception may be the gangsters, but, like, what are you going to do? They're gangsters. They're Gotham gangster stereotypes. You don't really need to change Rupert Thorne.
But you know what? I felt like they did. I feel like they changed Rupert Thorne enough that he felt fresh to me.
Maybe. I think I'd really have to rewatch it to have a real pure take on him. That's such a static kind of character to me that I think it's just generic gangster, and I'm good. I've got the plot point. I'm fine. Something real special has to happen for me.
Well, first of all, the Batman the Animated Series, Rupert Thorne always felt like he felt like a sinister John Candy. Like, he always had like a little angry quip, and he looked like John Candy, and it was bizarre how much that dude felt like John Candy to me. This guy, he's not. He doesn't feel like that at all. He's a different kind of gangster, and I don't know. There was just a lot of difference to me, and I love the voice actor. I can't remember his name right now, but he's on a ton of stuff. He was on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and I've seen him all over the place. Yeah.
When I looked at about halfway through, because I kind of played that game of see if I can guess the voice for a second. I got a couple of them, but I did actually IMDb this at some point. Just scrolled through and thought, well, this is just strong as shit.
Yeah.
You could basically, you could probably spend about 20 seconds of just this episode of our show reading the names, and that alone would be stronger content than the rest of the.
Oh yeah, Cedric Yarbrough. That's the guy that played Rupert Thorne. That dude is always like, he's funny as hell. He's got great comedic timing, but he's got this voice, this like deep, menacing voice that just, oh my God, I don't know. I loved it, and I loved Rupert Thorne's stupid son. We're just gonna take him out, Dad. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Oh, that's who that is. Yeah, the name was familiar. I forgot who Cedric is. Yeah, he's got a great voice though.
Yeah, he's just fantastic. Always fantastic.
How tall is that guy? I've always wanted to look up 6'2". That feels about right. Thanks, front page of Google. What's his fucking social? Jesus,
I would have guessed 6 foot. Damn, he's always.
He's a big boy.
By the way,
I don't know what Google didn't understand just then.
I know we haven't gotten to her episode yet, but McKenna Grace as Nocturne. That was this Egon's.
I did not even realize that was who that was.
Egon's granddaughter from the Ghostbusters movies.
Oh, okay. That one was that episode alone. I doubt I would have caught her by the voice on that one. She would have had to say something real particular, and I don't know if I would have caught it. But that was the one episode where I was like, okay, you're gonna have to catch me up. I do claim COVID. As part of why my memory's shady right then, but you were going to have to
Yeah.
catch me up on the Nocturne episode because I didn't remember much about it.
So the Nocturne episode. Okay, we can jump ahead for that. This is an episode that they wanted to do in some regard during the Batman the Animated Series, and the censors wouldn't let them do it, essentially. And it's a young girl who's a vampire of sorts, basically draining kids' life energy. And it wasn't one of my favorite episodes. Honestly, it was not. I didn't I thought it was great that she accidentally killed her brother. I loved that Batman was the one that had to break it to her. She's like, "Oh, he'll just forgive me." He's like, "Dude, she's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. You killed him." What? Oh my God! I know you didn't mean to, but you did. You killed him. The thing that I thought was really super fun about it, though, was one, Leslie Tompkins was running an orphanage. But did you pay attention at all to the kids in the orphanage?
Not really. Why? What was?
There's a little red-headed boy named Jason.
Oh,
A little dark-haired boy named Dickie. A little blonde girl named Steffi.
look at them fellas.
A little red-headed girl named Carrie. They're all Robins. They were all Robins.
That's beautiful.
I was shocked that you didn't catch that one.
I didn't.
'Cause
I didn't.
I was watching it. I was like, "Oh, Dickie. Oh, cool." I think even mentioned "Oh, is this a circus?" I'm like, "Huh." That kid's named Dick. It's a circus, maybe. I'm like, okay. Well, that's weird. Oh, it's a traveling carnival. That's not really a circus. Not really a Pop Haley situation.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, one of the freaks at the circus was Killer Croc. I don't know if you noticed that. He literally had lines and
On the circus thing? Yeah.
yeah, he beat the shit out of Bruce and threw him down. And I love the way they're like, "Hey, I don't know. To us, it looks like it's some dude running after a little kid. That don't seem right.
Yeah.
Beat him up."
I do remember watching that scene and thinking God, tough fucking town. Jesus.
I know. You guys didn't even ask if it was his nephew or son or anything.
I appreciate
Just,
looking out and all, but damn. Give a man a
Jesus
quick
Christ.
trial.
Jesus.
Just beat him, left him for dead behind the tent.
He probably would have if it wasn't Batman himself.
Yeah. I mean, genuinely, that was one of the things I was thinking is as he was kind of getting up the next morning, he does this is why violence in shows is it's important to point out what reality is like instead. Because he gets up from this massive beating left in a hole and just sort of gets up and basically just grabs his jacket uncut or untorn.
Mm-hmm.
Shirt still half tucked in, I think, somehow. Sort of strolls off to his car I'm fine. I'm like, even as he gets in the car, he's like, "I'm fine." I'm like, "No, you're not. You have a fucking concussion.
Yeah.
You should be at the hospital."
Which is
in reality,
fun...
Alfred, this mission would have all stopped real early in reality if Alfred actually gave a damn. It would just be the first time something like that happened. "No, you're not Master Bruce. I'm tired of this shit. We're going to the fucking hospital."
Yeah, yeah. So I'm really torn. I'm really torn on Bruce because honestly, dude, Hamish Linklater, I've seen him be a really great actor in Newsroom and other things, Crazy Ones or whatever.
Yeah,
with Robin Williams.
I don't think I've ever seen a single misstep out of that man in any capacity.
Well, I have.
Where?
This show.
Oh, which one?
Just his Batman voice is kind of awful.
Really? No,
sometimes it's really good, and sometimes there's so little variance in it. I really do just keep flip-flopping on it. From that first teaser, I hated it. The trailer, I loved it. And then throughout the series, I just kept going between those two where I was just "Oh, that's really good. Oh, that was a terrible line. Oh, that's really good. Oh, wow. Ooh." There's just some sort of lack of, sometimes his voice falls flat when he does the Batman voice. And that's the thing that's messing me up with Batman. Or one of the things, there's a thing that Bruce Timm was talking about recently where he was one thing we did in the Batman animated series that we don't do here. I feel like that it's a positive, and years ago we stopped doing it on Batman the animated series. We stopped doing close-ups of Batman because now I've lost the name. Famous artist who designed Space Ghost.
Oh fuck, I don't know.
And a lot of those characters, animation legend.
Hanna-Barbera?
came up to him and told him stop doing
Is
close-ups of
Hanna-Barbera a
Batman.
real person? Because
No.
that's all I can think of.
Well, maybe. I don't know. But for some reason, I'm just Alex Toth. That's who I'm thinking of. Like, Alex Toth, legend in animation, legend in design, told Bruce Timm, I'm digging Batman the Animated Series. Stop showing close-ups of Batman. It's terrible. And I don't know what the reason for it was, but I loved the close-ups in Batman the Animated Series. Like the deeply painted close-ups where all you see is him squinting his eyes or some shit. Like that was cool. But Bruce Timm took that shit to heart. Now, like one of the issues that I feel is prevalent here that I don't enjoy is like how absolutely mundane Batman looks sometimes. Like they don't really take a lot of care to make him look as terrifying as he should. Like it just very much looks like he is a dude in tights. And that's fine. It's the golden age, but I kind of want it to be a little grittier. I kind of want it to be a little more frightening for the thugs.
Yeah.
Like if he's alone and we are just watching Batman be Batman, I'm more okay with him just kind of looking more normal, I guess. And this is all just bullshit from me. This is all just like, hey, here's Dave. This is what he would have done with it. It's not even a real problem. It's just like things that I would have done differently. Like, Batman the Animated Series, even when we did see him without people looking at him, he was like cloaked behind, like the whole cape was around him. You would just see like one black hand coming out holding a flashlight going through files in the commissioner's office or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a little more style to him. And for what it's worth, like you could say like, yeah, they're trying to go for more of a golden age feeling, but I felt like BTAS already kind of did that and they should have picked up a little more from what they were doing then. Just in a few instances, like change the characters, that's fine. Like do a new twist on them, but certain elements, man, just kind of hold those close.
I mean, well, the voice, as far as his voice goes, my real quick take was I don't think I thought about his voice the entire time.
Yeah,
which means that for me, obviously, it was just fine.
Yeah, sure.
That is a good point. I don't remember it really standing out as like, oh man, this is one of the great takes on Batman's voice. Neither do I remember at any point having a moment of balk. So,
his Bruce Wayne was great.
Yeah, that is probably also true. But,
there's a scene in there where he goes from being Bruce to Batman.
Oh, I would like to actually focus on that one if I could go back and pay attention specifically to.
Yeah, he's Bruce at the time.
Yeah.
But he's like having a conversation and then somebody pisses him off and he says something. I can't
Batman
remember who it was.
out.
I think it was Dent. It was like blah da 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 da, and then like Dent is saying some shit, and he's like blah da da Harvey. Like oh my god, like he like it, and it was fun because I was I believe that one was The Killer Inside Me, and my wife and I were talking about like how it was fun because like both Dent and Batman were kind of like two people with multiple personality who were kind of switching up on each other. It's like four people having a conversation.
Nice.
Anyway,
as far as his actual design, the costume, I get it. I definitely get it. I think I liked that, the BTAS kind of showing less, a little more mystery under the whole mechanism kind of thing. But that being said, I don't know. I get it. If they're saying they were going back to 66 or even hell, the serials to some extent, as far as it being, that just looks like a dude with some cloth draped on him. Yeah, that's what this cartoon looked like. Dude with some cloth.
Yeah.
Now it's never been my favorite version because I do love me an armored Batman. I love all the techs. I love all the gadgets. I love all the fucking poly whatever goddamn nano cloak he's got on. These are the things some of the things I treasure about the character.
I felt like Hunter S. Thompson describing what Batman wears.
Something like it. But yes, I appreciate that side of the character more. I understand the history and certainly understand the stripped down, like, well, if it was just a guy with an outfit. Very much, though, this show's version is a guy in an outfit. A really well-built guy in an outfit.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And abs for days.
I just moved toward the idea of like whatever he's got under there, whether it be like a thin piece of cloth with a bat symbol on it or armor, whatever he's got, you shouldn't want anybody to know what it is.
Yeah.
That cape serves a purpose.
There was
That's just my weird thing.
I think it was, yeah. It's in in Arkham Knight, the game. There's a reference to that because I think it's that was a Frank Miller invention, right? The shoot for basically the logo stands out because that's where I want you to shoot.
That's what I mean. It may have come from something before Frank, but that's where I remember it from.
Well, I'll take your phrasing on that one then. Yeah, I agree. But there's a mention of that in Arkham Knight because if anyone doesn't recall at this point in the game, if you were able to play it, and by that I mean either afford it or get it to fucking work. There's a whole bit where Jason Todd obviously is the sneaky bad guy, and there's a point where he's instructing his men to go after Batman, and he does. He references like, and don't aim for the chest. That's part of that's a trick. Aim for the head. Mm-hmm. I just appreciate the references.
Yeah. I mean, it's a well loved portion of the mythos for a lot of writers, and it makes sense. That's the only way that big yellow symbol makes sense. Mm-hmm.
We of course extended the logic to the crotch area famously some years ago, much to many people's regret. My own most specifically.
God. Yeah, I was very happy.
That segment was named Bat Wieners for quite some time.
Oh yeah,
until the actual Bat Wiener appeared years later, in what is now my personally most valuable comic book.
That's Damned, right?
Yeah, a copy of Damned pre-Damnation.
But yeah, like what I was saying earlier is I really enjoyed Bruce's progression, his character arc in this season, because he very much goes from cold son of a bastard Bruce who calls the man who raised him Pennyworth. Like, don't even call him Alfred. Jesus Christ, man.
He did. You got your moment at the end. I
did.
I was a little surprised they did make him that distant.
I was shocked that they made him that distant, but I did enjoy the arc to some degree because it did. I knew what they were going for, because if you go back and you read the old Golden Age comics, before there's an Alfred, before there's a Dick, and it's just Batman just being a dick.
Before Aunt May or whatever.
Aunt May?
Not Aunt May. That was a different universe entirely. What the fuck was her name?
Aunt Harriet.
Aunt Harriet, thank you. Not Aunt May. That's Aunt May, I believe.
That's Spider-Man you talking about.
Is it?
Yeah. Though, Batman did have back in the old comics, it was said that Bruce had an aunt and an uncle that he went and lived with. That's who raised him in the old comics. They were quickly forgotten, but they had whole stories that they narrated and shit.
In my head, it's some forgotten characters, Uncle Raish.
Oh God, that would have been fun. They actually kind of recently revived those characters to some degree, but they made them instead of being his dad's brother and wife, it was on his mom's side, so they were Canes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Canes.
But they had the same uncle and aunt. Anyway, I liked the progression of Bruce this season, and I'm wondering, like, how far are we going to take the Golden Age thing? Like, will Dick show up again as Robin? Will they do a thing where like all the Robins are like? Are they training? Is he training an army at some point? Like, I want to know where they're going with this, because most of it kind of very much felt serialized. Like you were saying, Barbara's shit, the Flats and Bullock stuff, Dent, Gordon. Really, the only misstep for me was the police department, as far as the continuity goes. I'm
just gonna try to give you the headcanon that it's just a very similar looking nearby precinct, and they just moved operations.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Dude, I loved the Gentleman Ghost episode.
Oh yeah, so like a whole category of praise for me is let's go over it. So for me, he batted 1,000 as far as the change-ups go. I really enjoyed the takes, but also batting 1,000, I'm pulling some unknowns out and giving him some real screen time. Yes, Gentleman Ghost being probably my favorite of the ones I'm thinking of.
My biggest issue with that is it put freaking adamant in my head. Just walking around going, stand and deliver. Ding, 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 ding.
I'm sorry.
Dang.
But pulling
Wow.
out Onomatopoeia, for instance, is that the first screen time of Onomatopoeia?
No. Onomatopoeia is a villain in Superman and Lois.
Okay.
Season 3, I believe.
First animated screen time, then maybe.
Maybe, but here was my issue with Onomatopoeia. I was a little disappointed with him.
Part of his attitude, though, did have a serious frat boy vibe. Is that just me?
I didn't catch that, but I was distracted.
Because when he's making noise, sometimes it almost felt like finger bang, like future stock 80s guy, kind of like from Futurama. Hey, yeah. I don't know. It just hit me that way a couple times.
Yeah, he was a little less creepy he was much less creepy than I wanted him to be. But the other thing is like, I always envisioned Onomatopoeia, and this is basically how they kind of played Onomatopoeia on Superman and Lois in a way. It was, he's like just the sound effect guy on Police Academy. Like, that when he does the things with his mouth, it sounds like the Thing. He's not just some dude walking around going, bang, click, pow,
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to actually hear like the sound effect, but it's kind of a small gripe. They didn't do much with him. He was just like a mob heavy, and
yeah, I mean, pretty much. But I don't know what to expect out of that character in a way. Every time there's a take on it, because that's a character who's kind of, even the power set almost in a way only makes sense on the page to me.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing any version of action of it is like, well, how are you going to try to interpret this so you can actually do this with moving characters, with something that has to actually make sound, in a universe that presumably has sound.
Well, the presentation of the character, aside from the onomatopoeia of it all, this is the best iteration I've seen on screen. It beats Superman and Lois, but the actual like presentation of the onomatopoeia, Superman and Lois beats the shit out of this.
Well, I am looking forward to that then. Superman and Lois is the first of the CW shows that I'm actually gonna probably finish at some point.
Oh yeah, you definitely should. You should, man. I mean, it comes back in October. You need to crank it up.
I know myself well enough to know with how I currently feel about those shows when I do make it back to that land.
Does it come back in October?
No, it's coming back soon.
I think so. Yeah. All right, that's confirmed. Superman and Lois comes back October 17th. Final season.
I don't know if that's enough time.
Yeah, but it's enough time for us to watch the finale at the same time.
Maybe, yeah. If I try to think of it as getting to the end, maybe. I'm gonna incorporate that as a light goal. Even,
I mean,
I'm gonna give it full
of all the goals.
On, definitely, maybe.
Yeah, like this is gonna be fun.
Yeah,
it's a good show. Solid show.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I've enjoyed what I've seen.
Watching it week to week is a torment, so you're blessed. Like we'll just like bite the bullet and hold off for a few weeks and just wait for another one.
Yeah.
Or wait for, some to pile up so we can just watch a bunch of them at once.
I did find that skipping every other week of Kite Man is ideal for me this year. Was ideal. Yeah, because one episode, it's good, but you get to the end of about 25 minutes. I could have done a little more.
Yeah. 2
episodes, you really filled in that sweet tooth. And, and you're good, and then a couple weeks later go by, and you got that, better part of an hour back. It was a good experience.
Yeah. It's good to skip sometimes, it feels. like because it's like you just let the tumult of life, of everyday life, sweep you away.
Let that wine sit in the decanter, If you love something, let it go, all that.
Let the busyness of life kind of just pull you down the river. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks will pass before you even know it, and you'll be like, oh shit, I have a couple of Kite Man.
Yeah. And you want the depression and all that to really ripen so that when you watch something that distracts you for a couple hours 2 weeks later, it's even better.
Well, when you don't have kids and you work from home.
Explain this process to me.
I find you wind up, just with other shows that occupy your time. And then you go, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so many people hate me right now. Anyway.
If you stay up late enough in my life, you get to experience things like that. Speaking of, I just found the Arkham Knights game was available where I was
fun.
Where I was playing games for probably, but I discovered it on the leaving soon list, so I'm gonna have to really power through that one if I want to do it. I did turn on the game long enough to watch the opening, like the intro scene, and it was good.
Good. Is it the remastered version or the original version
Of the game?
Yeah,
It only came out like 2 years ago, I think.
I thought you said Arkham Asylum. What did you say?
Gotham Knights? Or that's what I meant to say, at least.
Oh, Gotham Knights.
Yeah, the one with like all four of them.
Okay.
All four of the babies.
For some reason, I thought you
Baby
said
bats.
Arkham Asylum.
I might have.
But
I don't trust myself.
yeah, of course, it's also a little bit on my heart because I'm sitting here looking at an Arkham Asylum thing
Don't blame me.
on my desk here, and I've been thinking about, because I know they remastered those games. They remastered them, and they look so pretty.
They are. They're good.
Well, the new versions look even prettier than the original versions.
Genuinely, I was just happy to get through Arkham Knight without the thing crashing on me.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. It's absolutely fair. I feel like we glossed over Night Ride a bit.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I have a very specific spot with that, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
It contains my favorite moment, or not. Well, maybe just moment. But anyway, it contains my favorite plot point of the entire series so far.
Which part?
In that episode, and again, you're wondering, what are we going to do with this series? Because every time he brings up a new character, and we're learning about the universe, you don't know what limits we're going to put on things. Like, for instance, a few episodes before that, I was worried about, like, oh, is Clayface just going to be like a dude with a bunch of masks? And that was going to be boring. But, we really took some serious chances with Harley Quinn, for instance, including Offinger. But, anyway, you see.
Wait, did they kill her?
No, they were.
I thought she just went away.
She did. She just went. Well, she fell into the thing, I thought.
Oh, we didn't see a body.
We didn't
That's
see a
right.
body.
She did come back. Yeah, she did come back. We didn't see a body. She's not gone. By the way, did you notice that when whatever place she told Barbara to meet her, not Barbara, Montoya to meet her, she said at the corner of Wilson and Lowry.
I didn't catch the joke on that one.
Wilson and Lowry were the first two men to play Batman in the serials.
Oh, that's good.
Lewis Wilson and Rob Lowry.
Well played, guys.
Yeah.
Well played.
Like, I squealed when she said it. My wife was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh, they mentioned the first two Batman."
Quick mansplain. Let me hit pause.
Nerds play,
Yeah.
really.
Oh yeah, but so we're what 6 episodes in? It looks like on that one on Night Ride. Didn't know where the show was going exactly. This was a moment of, okay, what are we going to really do here? Now you've got like a ghost character involved. This guy just got.
Is it going to be a Scooby Doo?
Yeah, we just got like a little Siegfried and Roy going on in the bus here. What's up?
I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddlesome bats.
Yeah. But no, the show decided, nope, there's ghosts. And the thing I liked the most about the show at that moment was, no, we mean ghosts. And the thing I loved so much about that for the canon of this character's Batman is that in the course of that episode, he basically shows up at at Midnight's door and just says like, well, there's ghosts. What are we doing about it? And like, there's no hesitation. I love it so much as a choice. He just rolls right the fuck into, it's my city. I said I'd defend it against all odds, and I guess ghosts are a part of that now. So here's my ally.
He's like, I'm at the end of science.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Ghosts?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Push something going to help this problem. Need to expand my boundaries a little bit. And I think the show, doesn't Midnight even mention something like, I like a guy who's wanted to like expand his, something like that.
Yeah.
It was a great turn. That was when I had the most faith in what I was watching right then.
Oh yeah. 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 I loved it because it was totally like he's telling Alfred like there's no such thing as ghosts. And literally like 5 minutes later in the show, like he's showing up at Papa Midnight and being like,
so there's ghosts. And then, to exaggerate, Midnight's like, so is that like something you're worried about? Nope, not a bit. So are we in like the consoling mode or more of a problem solving area? We're going straight to problem solving. Cool. I got a thing for you. And then what was the cool line later?
What's that?
There was a cool line later about like the trade that he had made on the hill after Alfred fucked him off with a poem. He actually got the thing to light. That was by the way, it's such a funny little scene. Alfred looks like a little, like they modeled it after like this like kind of jokey back alley sort of crackheady kind of behavior a little bit, like just have him hunched over the lighter with the lighter not working kind of thing. So, man, we've all been there. I get it.
There was a lot of derision online about the fact that they chose to make Alfred a fat man, which many people believe has never been the case. Now, I don't know if you know.
Yes, I guess, but he has as much right to be a fat man as a thin man in any capacity. I can tell. What difference does it make to the storytelling on that?
I don't know, but it was definitely like a golden age choice because the original Alfred was fat.
Yeah, I guess.
He was. I'm telling you he was.
I'm just thinking I probably would be. My lifestyle is pretty, I mean, I'm working all day, but around the house.
The original Alfred.
Cooking a lot.
The original Alfred was a big fatty fat. He was clumsy. He was very much fatty fall down. Mm-hmm. And he read a lot of detective novels and was like a little amateur detective himself. I'm imagining
a living version of the Alfred Hitchcock silhouette.
And then they got scared because of all the Frederick Wortham shit, and they sent his ass away to fat camp. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And brought in Aunt Harriet.
Because it was too gay in that house, apparently.
And then when he came back, he was skinny.
Yeah.
He was like gaunt.
What a shitty fucking book.
Seduction of the Innocent.
He called it Seduction of the Innocent. What the fuck?
Yep.
How did just 1,000% chance there's kitty porn on that guy's hard drive if he lived today? Just man, come on.
If there's anyone out there listening who doesn't know what I'm talking about, Frederick Wortham, I think the guy was like a Nazi, and he came over here and he started like coming up with all this bullshit about like how the comic books were destroying young minds. He wrote a book called Seduction of the Innocent. He freaked the shit out of everyone. Like all the adults were upset and angry. It was satanic panic, but with comic books.
Yeah, I'm being very serious when I say it was too gay in that house. That's whole chapters of that book is devoted to that being the undermining effect on our child.
This man had breakdowns of comic book panels twisted and turned so he could point out that the folds in clothing looked like a lady's private parts. Yeah. Like, it was ridiculous.
Or as he probably put it, George O'Keefing us.
And look, it worked. Basically the comic industry that's why they came up with the Comics Code Authority, so they could self-police instead of having their entire industry shut down.
Until apparently Stan Lee said, but what if I don't care?
Yeah.
And history was made yet again. No, this man went to Congress with this shit. I mean, it was a whole big thing, man. It was a different era. I think that really was in the McCarthy kind of era, though. I want to say time-wise. Probably around the same, news age of the whole blacklisting and do you have any communist ties area of America's wonderful, wonderful, kind and forgiving history.
The present is any better.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing great. No one asked questions. We're doing fine.
Yeah, I loved Night Ride. I loved Gentleman Ghost. I was shocked that they did Gentleman Ghost, and I love that Papa Midnight was basically wearing like the traditional like Silver Age Gentleman Ghost gear, like the white top hat and the monocle and the whole thing. Like, oh my God, he's just dressed like a Gentleman Ghost generally is, but. I really enjoyed it, and my wife had to stop and be like, "Wait, are they doing Adam Ant? Is that a reference?" I'm like, "Nah, that's a reference to Highwaymen," which was what that entire song "Stand and Deliver" by Adam Ant is about. It's just Highwaymen running around, stand and deliver.
They they didn't really do too different from the Scooby episode, except like.
It was real.
This time he actually had. It's like the reveal you always thought was going to happen during a Scooby episode. Oh, the ghost is real this time, and then the actual person that became the ghost is just far cuntier than you ever expected in a real episode of Scooby Doo. Other than that, it's basically the same.
Mm-hmm. I loved how in the episode they basically tried to convince us, red herring us, that this guy who owned the grounds that Lucius was trying to buy was Gentleman Ghost. Yeah. Like they were like. Oh no, like it's that guy. And then the motherfucker comes out the painting.
Yeah.
it's not his kin, it's him. Like,
yeah. I guess that was maybe the fourth wall effect for me is the whole episode, I guess, because I'm watching the episode every time there's a new trick by Gentleman Ghost, I'm sitting here thinking like, well, I mean, What are they going to let him do? I guess I was sitting there trying to decide if this was real at the same time that I suppose in the episode, in that world, Bruce was too.
Yeah. I'm like over here going.
We went on this journey together,
The whole time I'm going, are they going to do holograms?
Yeah.
Are they going to do holograms in this?
You got
in
kind
this
of a light show situation. Like
1940s.
This guy definitely knows like stage magic. Like
Yeah.
I'm genuinely, I'm going through the catalog of magic tricks that I know the back canon of a little bit and be like, well, I mean, I guess they could be trying to. It's definitely going to be kind of a stage situation, like it's not.
Are they going to do Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, or they don't explain how the guy does the trick?
Yeah, yeah, I do love that.
Oh yeah, dude, literally predicted the future in bubbles.
Yeah,
like oh my god,
I
want to go back and watch that whole show.
I do too.
God, I love that show.
It was great. I still show people the Zachary Levi tall people speech pretty constantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good one.
It was a good speech.
That's a good one. Does Harvey die? Does Harvey die at the end of this show? At the end of the series? Or the season?
I don't remember.
Is Two-Face dead?
I don't think so.
I know he was shot.
Yeah, I don't think he's dead. But dead to rights, I could not tell you where every character is left at the end of this one. I really do think I watched the last.
It looks like he did.
He did die?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I think I watched the last few of these episodes when I was genuinely, truly sick. It's a bit spotty in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Well, I knew he got shot, and like he and Barbara he was like hobbling around, and Barbara was like kind of carrying him. Yeah, he did. I thought I remembered him dying, but I wasn't sure.
Didn't she at the end ask him something about like, why'd you do that? And he's like, I don't even actually know.
Yeah, he jumped in front of her.
Yeah,
he was already shot, and then like he jumped in front of her.
He took the blow. I do remember that.
Yeah. Now,
it's a bit spotty.
That makes sense because he was supposed to testify in court, and we still need Thorne around, though. He's all like, kind of got away with it, and then a batarang flies through the damn window, and Batman's out there in like TAS style, staring at him like, "I'm coming for you next."
He is. That scene alone. I was going to ask you if I was just, over or superimposing for no reason, but that one, he very much mirroring the Batman Year One imagery on that one, right?
Oh, I felt like they were mirroring the Batman the Animated Series like opening credits where he's like standing on the building with the lightning behind.
The lightning behind 100%. I mean, right before what I was catching with Rupert sitting in that room, especially with the bat smashing through the window specifically, like I felt like they recreated that scene a little bit because he's sitting in this long empty room facing the giant windows, which is how I kind of remember that scenery. And then Bat it's sitting alone contemplating. Bat flies through the windows. I think we're doing an homage here.
Like, you talking about Bruce sitting there and the bat flying through the window?
Yeah. That's what I mean by the mirror on that one.
Okay.
I thought they just kind of swapped up the character on me on that one and recreated the scene.
Maybe so. Like, what would have been cool for that to have hit home for me, because I didn't even think about that. I just thought it was like a cool threat. What would have been cool is like a flashback of Bruce sitting there trying to figure out how to become or what to do, and then a Batman flying in through the window, and then to like do that in like episode 1, and then like the final episode have bookend it with him doing it to instill fear in Rupert Thorne.
Yeah.
But whatever. We end on a really cool like little stinger teasing Joker. I'll already say not sure I'm crazy about the Joker voice as we're hearing it, but I'm very, very interested to see what we're going to do, because the closest I've ever gotten to seeing Golden Age Joker as he was presented in the comics was in Gotham,
the monotone one,
and the weird like emotionless monotone man with a ghastly grin.
Yeah. And hell, even that you kind of have to pick pieces of which Jerome, and I'm going to blanketly use the term Jerome. That changed a lot.
Oh, it wouldn't have been Jerome. It would have been his brother Jeremiah, who became the actual Joker in that canon.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, whoever Cameron was playing at that time.
I think it was Jeremiah, the twin brother.
Yeah. But sorry, if I recall though, he didn't look too wicked then, but that was about as wicked as he acted and sounded during the entire run in certain ways. It was more like bone chilling, but that
man ran the gamut on Jokers.
He did about every interpretation, and then kind of mix and matched a few is what I'm saying.
I'm for just sheer impressive range on a Joker, I don't think I've seen him beat, honestly.
No, it's going to be hard. And not many people had that many opportunities to do it that widely, but he sure as hell took every opportunity and ran with it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen him in some other stuff, and apparently that's not an aberration. He's just genuinely really good.
Yeah, that sounds right. All right, man. Well, I don't know how much more I have to say about it. It does seem like Batman is okay with at least possibly killing in this universe, and that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Very Golden Age.
Very Golden Age.
Very, very Golden Age. I wonder if that'll come up. I'm curious about where everybody winds up. Like I'm digging Montoya. I'm digging Harley. Everybody, like Barbara. Clearly, she's getting influenced by Batman in some regard, and she's willing to put her neck on the line, even as herself.
Yeah, and there's still a lot to expand on. Like you said, there's a bunch of references to Robins.
Mm-hmm.
We've clearly got.
You can do a lot with that.
We've clearly got a Barbs that could. Plenty of Bat family expansion possibilities that would all work here. Or tease.
They could go so many places with it.
It can. I mean, if you're going to work in a Joker here, that alone is. I get everyone's instinct. And on the one hand, the only thing that I did find a little bit boring is there are certain beats that I've just seen hit before. Like Two-Face to me is not the most compelling way to do it. They did a great job of it here, but it doesn't mean I would have picked that character if you just let me. But I do understand certain kind of tropes, even in the DC universe, where you just leave Joker as the playing card at the end of, Batman Begins kind of thing. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. We all know that's the big swinging dick of this fucking villain universe. And, maybe you play with the other ones first. I get it.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I wonder how they'll do it, like how they'll go about it. Like, if they're like, oh, well, let's see what Bane looks like. You take a 90s villain, someone who was just born of the fucking 90s, and say, like, what does he look like in the 40s? Yeah. Like, they already did with Harley Quinn, and I dug the way they did it. I really dug the way they did it. So,
I mean, to pick two that I'm looking forward to, goddamn well, I'm going to look forward to a Scarecrow in this universe because I should look forward to that. I think the flavoring he's using, whatever I would call that, general vibe of it is, I feel like it would be great in Scarecrow, but also Riddler.
Riddler could be fun.
I think both of these takes, from what I've seen so far, are exciting to me.
Here's the thing, though. Well, that's gone.
My
brain
thought,
just like came up with it.
That thought,
and
that hope.
Before I could say
dream,
it went away.
Where does that dream go?
Oh God, I hate my brain.
There was something about Riddler, but
yeah, you mentioned Riddler. I was not thinking of Riddler. One, I would love to see, dude. I feel like they already hinted at Superman in this universe because they literally had Lois Lane from the Fleischer cartoons as part of the press here.
True.
They had Jimmy Olsen in the background with the camera. Dude, Lois shows up like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. So
I want to see, like, can we get confirmation that this is in the Fleischer universe? That would be so exciting, dude. If they like came out and like made it known that, by the way, this is in the Fleischer Superman universe, like, oh shit.
So something I'm used about today. I hadn't talked to you about it, but I kind of wouldn't mind a little bit more of that to come back in a way, because you know how the trend right now, of course, is if you need something to be there but a little bit different, you just say it's a multiverse thing, and we all can move on. We got our explanation. But I kind of wouldn't mind at all a couple of these. Let's go back and just write it in so that it was there the whole time, but I never had to explain it until just now.
Mm-hmm.
I could stand a couple of those to round out the palette, I guess, right now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
what you want to say?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's go back and let's just say, like, because my memory of Fleischer Universe is a fair amount of this isn't universe or isn't mentioned. Like, okay, well, just go back and write this one as though it was there the whole time, and just at the end tell me, oh yeah, or in the middle tell me, oh yeah, by the way, here's the crossover.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't say it before, but put it in the same universe. I think I remember some of that storytelling from a while back, but since multiverse got introduced, I feel like it's just easier to do that instead now.
Yeah, I mean, as I remind people frequently, the multiverse has been done in comics since 1956. So,
yeah,
I mean, it was only a matter of time before it made its way to our television screens and more mainstream viewing, everyone knows what the multiverse is, even if they're pissed off by it. Yeah. Which some people,
it's common parlance at this point.
Some people are always, have like my mom hates the multiverse. Like when I was a kid, I'm like, oh no, that's a different universe. Like she's like, so when does Batman the animated series happen? Before or after Batman Returns? And I'm like, oh, it's a different universe. What the hell does that mean? There aren't multiple universes.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
In the comics there are. So you mean just a different version? Yes, but they call it a multiverse.
Yeah.
They call it yeah. So I would love it.
What do you mean? How do I combine all this into one solid thought? Oh, you are not ready for a pull list, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
3 different versions of Batman not even talking to each other.
Mm-hmm.
In 1 week. Fuck.
Yeah, I'd love to see Fleischer's Superman show up. I would love for that to be canon in the Caped Crusader canon. And obviously I want to see their version of Poison Ivy. I think Bane might be an interesting choice. We already saw Floyd Lawton. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
That Deadshot was one of the hired guns?
Yeah, I heard the Lawton. Yeah, Bane was another one that that passed through that I could dig.
I think I'd like to see the show transition into the Silver Age. Sort of like a long form New Frontier. Like show Batman progressively getting a bit lighter.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun concept that you could also do in animation a lot better than any of the bullshit if you tried to plan this. But yeah, give me a series where it actually does just skip 10 years over about 5 seasons.
Oh, that would be oh my God. That's just orgasmic to me.
But do it like you're saying, where like we start out here and then we go 10 years later and then like season 4 is just Frank Miller took over. Yeah. Yeah.
Like they would do stuff like that in the animated series where they would be like, they would open on something like the groundbreaking at Blackgate Prison.
True. Yeah.
And then it's just like, we're doing this for a brighter, safer Gotham or whatever. And then it's just like 5 years later and it's just like so fucking decrepit and terrible outside. It looks like everything looks worse. And it says 5 years later, a brighter, safer Gotham.
Season 2, everything worked out. We forgot to tell you about it.
Dude,
a good example of this actually is, if anyone's already yelling at me kind of under their breath right now, Young Justice though does actually a pretty good job of what I just described. Because they will skip 2, 3, 4 years.
They will, but that's ultimately what made me stop watching it.
In a way, I can see it because it's a lot to sit down and kind of digest, but it was a unique experience for sure. Every time you turned on a new season where you're like, oh, okay. Well, I clearly left and some pieces came and went off the board while I was in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. You like have to refamiliarize yourself with the show, but it's different from just refamiliarizing with like, oh, I forgot the show was on the air for 5 years.
Yeah, they without fanfare, without explanation, they change character designs. They bring in characters that we haven't seen before.
Like shit has happened, but it's canon though. It's not just like they don't explain it because it's some production problem. It is canon in the universe though.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was an interesting take. But I think I would be more interested in seeing it like, okay, let's exaggerate that to 10, 15 year differences.
Yeah, like it's just when you're talking, because the Young Justice very much does it on a universe scale. Yeah. Whereas like, oh, there's a big fight going down. Oh, here's the current Bat family. And if you're a fan of the comics, you're like, oh yeah, fucking, I know Cassie, I know Steffi, I know all these people. And then, but if you're just watching the show, you're going, wait, what? And there's all these things that they did within the Young Justice universe in of itself that you wind up going, wait, hold on. What are y'all doing? Because this isn't from the comics and I don't know what you're doing right now. Mm-hmm. So like, it also just takes so long for it to come out. Like you really do have to like watch the show over and over and over and over and over again. And I plan to go back and watch it all, but I fell off in the last season or two that they did because I was just like, I don't know what we're even doing here. I can't follow.
Yeah, I'm on the last one. Not currently. Yeah, I've kind of I put it down and forgot for a second, so I've still got to go back for the last season. I think I did watch like the first episode of it and then got distracted.
Mm-hmm.
As is so often my fate.
Yeah, well, So, yeah, I want it on some level, but as long as it's not like a whole universe, like watching Young Justice felt like looking at the cover of that Alex Ross Crisis on Infinite Earths book, where you're just like, oh my God, I see just like all the people ever, and I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Like it's just madness.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming as hell. But yeah, I would love for them to jump ahead in time and do some, I feel like they did jump ahead in time on this season, like by months, and they didn't tell us a few times. I feel like they did that a few times here, and I was just like, wait, what? When did what?
Yeah. I mean, for your sake, we have to assume episode 1 and 2 is one of those jumps, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
There's nothing technically stopping you from having that piece of headcanon, though.
No, there's nothing stopping me.
I don't think so. I mean, like I was mentioning too, how, in a real world, a lot of these injuries would be much more serious. That also doesn't hurt to add a couple months between episodes here for headcanon, just for him being back on his fucking feet after a couple of these beatings.
Mm-hmm.
Those damn carnies almost killed him.
Those damn carnies. I wish it didn't make sense to name this episode Batman Cape Crusader Review.
Yeah.
Because I would totally just name it Those Damn Carnies.
It's a treat for the end, apparently.
Oh, man. Do you have anything else on this one?
Nah, enjoyed it. We'll probably see it, end of 2025, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I would guess. I mean, I know they're working on season 2, so
we'll see.
We might get it
by then. By then, thankfully, there will be some other stuff to get in us.
Oh, there'll be plenty.
We're nearing the time of the end of this sort of Snyder. And what was the other guy? Snyder, Hamada, Gunn, Limbo area of life, where almost none of it existed for a moment.
Well, Penguin starts tomorrow, September 19th. We've still got Kite Man to talk about. We've still got My Adventures with Superman to get to. And Superman Lois starts back October 17th. We've got plenty of things to watch. And Peacemaker will become... Creature Commandos comes in December. That's the first of the DCU stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll have plenty, man. We're about to blossom into a new age of DC.
This is truth. It has been a long, year and a half as far as that goes? As far as new material went.
Yeah.
But, it was always meant to come to an end. Shit was happening.
happening.
Let him cook.
We got Joker. We got Joker Folie à Deux coming.
Fuck. Forgot about you.
In November.
Yeah.
Help.
It's going to be a long end of the year.
Help, Jason.
Also, the way the end
what
of
are
the
we
year...
doing?
True. The way the end of the year typically works for me is there's September, then there's early October, and then it's February. Because the end, you get into a bunch of holidays, and then you basically... It's like February before I look up. And I think I only look up at that point because I'm very cold.
Mm-hmm.
So we're it's gonna be an interesting little area coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited though. We're gonna have fun. Anyway, keep some DC on your screen, y'all.